but what you measure out. At Lyons, we make an extra fine coffee that many feel few other filter coffees can, well, measure up to. Lyons Original. Extra fine.
See what deals are offering now? You can have any 3 garments dry cleaned for only £5. Make the most of these great savings at Neil's. But hurry, it's for a limited period only.
You'll be on that course soon and on your way to higher things.
Well, if that's true, somebody's keeping a closely guarded secret. That doesn't mean a dicky bear to me.
I'm sure you'll soon hear.
I haven't got the qualifications, really.
It's character that counts. That's what they look for.
And you reckon I've got that, do you?
Well, on the whole, I'm prepared to concede that you've got what it takes.
Well, that coming from you, it certainly means I've got nothing to worry about. I wish to get a move on now. Otherwise, I'm going to be so old I'll only be fit for a hall porter's job.
What?
You had a sauna yesterday.
Now, I wouldn't have worn it for a sauna, would I?
Is our cab here?
It's at the door, sir.
I think it's just as well you decided not to call the police, Mrs. Beekman, if you can't even be certain where you left it.
I missed the first act of Richard II last night on account of that ring. I'm not going to miss our plane home. Would you take those bags to the car, please? When I get the insurance, Martha, on this, I'm going to buy you a ring that'll never come off.
Now, Henry, you know how I hate a tight ring.
Mama, sometimes there's just no pleasing you. If it does show
Yes,
up...
I'll be in touch with you at once. I'm sorry this has had to happen. I do hope that otherwise you've enjoyed your stay. Oh, how was the play last night?
I'd been told it had been set in a farmyard.
Richard II.
They missed the whole point.
Well, anything's possible in the theatre these days.
Yes, indeed, ma'am.
Have they finally checked out?
Yes, apparently she thinks she may have left the ring in the sauna, Amber. You better go and check.
Right, okay.
What about this ring? Was it valuable?
$3,000 worth? And she thought I'd pinched it.
I'm sure she didn't take it this time, Daniel.
This time?
Yeah, you have to watch it with our Anne-Marie. She can be a little light-fingered.
That's not fair.
Well, she wasn't very fair to you when she lifted that pendant and let you take the rap for it.
What's this all about?
She's a kleptomaniac.
Was, not is.
Anne-Marie!
Yeah, I mean, she's not like that now. I mean, she went to see some shrink or something. Oh, hello.
Are you talking about me?
Why would we do that?
You are coming tonight, ain't you? Well, I did accept. Great.
What can we do for you?
Well, Mrs. Freeman asked me to check if one of the guests left a ring yesterday.
A ring?
In the sauna.
What sort of ring?
Well, she called it an eternity ring.
What does that look like?
How should I know, Daniel?
Look, nothing's been found. But if you want, you can take a look.
Well, maybe you could come along with me, just in case I do come across it. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody thinking I'd had it all along, would I?
Oh, any luck, Anne-Marie?
Oh, we haven't looked yet.
What brings you over here?
Just came to check that everything was online for tonight.
Oh, it's not my party, Nicola. By the way, Sam Benson's here.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he's in the pool with his kid.
Ah, I'll go and have a word with him.
Charlie, you've been in the water for nearly an hour and a half. Any longer, you'll turn into a fish.
No, I won't.
Shush. Ah, here's a friend of mine I want you to meet.
Hello, Sam. Charlie?
Hello.
Now, this is Nicola. She runs that lovely swimming pool that you seem to be so fond of.
Do you really? I wish we had a swimming pool at home. Are you a good swimmer?
Well, not too bad.
Can you dive?
Yes, on a good day.
Backflip?
Charlie, do you mind if I get a word in edgeways? He's really been enjoying himself.
Oh, good. Another satisfied customer. Have you?
Dad's been throwing pennies in for me to practice diving. He pretends he's skint now.
Well, not quite. I can just about afford to buy us all a drink. You going to join us?
Well, I've got a better idea. As your dad's skint, why don't we go along to my sitting room and then we can order you an ice cream from room service?
You said you were going fishing, Dad.
I said later.
Don't you want an ice cream, Charlie?
Oh, yes, please. I love it, especially chocolate. But I love fishing too. Once Dad caught this fish on holiday. It was so big, Mum couldn't shoot it on the barbecue. She couldn't really. Fed it to tea. It wasn't very nice.
You should have seen the one that got away.
I don't like fish, not to eat, but I like catching them. Please, Dad, you could bring one home for Mum.
don't really believe. I mean, you don't really, surely.
Well, it's an unhappy coincidence that the person accused is the one member of the staff who's done something like this before.
Yeah, of course, she has been under some strain lately, hasn't she?
With Roy going away.
I didn't know she was still keen on Roy.
Roy, will you take over? I'm going on my coffee break. Excuse me, Mrs. Fellows.
Yes, okay. Oh, I'm really right. I've just heard about all that trouble I landed you in last night.
No, that wasn't your fault.
Oh, if only I'd taken that stationery myself.
What, the ring would never have gone missing?
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. No, of course I didn't. I just meant that it would have spared you all that trouble.
You'd never had that trouble yourself, of course. I mean, not even the Beekmans would have suspected you.
Well, they've gone home now, haven't they?
Yeah, but it wasn't in the sauna. Lorraine and I have checked everywhere.
Forget it. It was insured anyway. It's not your problem.
No, Roy's right. Nobody suspects it's you, love. Of course not. Whatever next?
Are you a friend of Dad's?
Yes, I hope so.
He's the best.
I'm sure he is.
He's not like Sarah's dad. He's horrible.
Poor Sarah.
She's horrible too.
I thought she was supposed to be your girlfriend, Charlie.
She won't let me ride a pony.
Oh, do you like riding?
Not as much as Mum. Mum loves it. Dad doesn't ride. He's too big for a horse. But he's teaching me to play rugby. He says I'll make a good scrum half.
Well, he should know.
I wish he'd come home more often.
Well, he's very busy, Charlie.
That's what Mum says. Newspapers are made at night, she says. So that's when he has to work, you see.
Okay, then.
Everything all right?
No problem. Nicola's brother, who runs the gym, says you can have a go on the exercise machines.
Oh, great.
Well, I hope he's going to supervise. Some of those machines can be lethal.
Well, apparently Lorraine's very good with kids, so she's going to keep an eye on him. Which means I can come back and have a quick chat.
You gotta watch me, Dad. See my muscles.
I see. Very impressive. Come on, I'll watch you for a little while, okay?
Have a good time, Charlie.
Thank you, and thanks for the ice cream.
It's all right.
See you in a minute.
How do you know that lady, Dad?
I know what they're all saying behind my back. Well, at least Mrs. Freeman knows I didn't do it.
So do I. But as for the rest of them, it'll all be yesterday's news after tonight.
Why, what's tonight?
Tracy's party. You coming?
I don't feel like it now.
Oh, come on, Anne-Marie. You show 'em. Look, you think you've got problems. See what arrived for me this morning. After careful consideration of your application, we regret to inform you, etc., etc.
What will you do?
Not a lot. Once I've blown this place up. See ya.
He's devoted to you, Sam.
Yes, I'm pretty devoted to him, too.
So why don't you spend more time with him?
It's his mother I'm not so devoted to.
Charlie is. Charlie really loves his mother.
Nicola, what do you want me to say? Of course he loves her, so does his sister. They will always love their mother, just as your stepchildren have their first loyalty to the first, Mrs. Freeman.
I always end up being second in line. Even if you left Lucy, all I'd ever be would be the second Mrs. Benson.
Is that what you want?
No, of course not. It'd only be the same scenario all over again. Oh, I'm a hopeless step-parent. I've proved it 10 times over. Joe cracked up, living in America. Daniel and I maintaining a pretense at civility. Do you want that for your beloved children, Sam? Of course you don't. I'm never going to have a family of my own. All I ever do is complicate other people's families.
See Crossroads again on Wednesday at 5:20. Well, for all Crossroads fans which are confused, Crossroads is back tomorrow, Tuesday at 5:20. Next, the news.
When Gyrobank put the newest British bank on the high street, they said, let's keep all the branches open all day and Saturday mornings. Can't be bad, I said. So they put Gyrobank services in all the post offices, even the ones abroad. And why keep customers waiting a month or 3 for a statement? Gyrobank will send one every time money's paid in. That's the way to do it, I said. Then Gyrobank invented an easier way to pay household bills, followed by the cheapest form of free banking around. You only pay charges for the days you're in the red and not a day longer. Well, fair enough, I said. But what about Visa cards, check cards and cash cards? Simple, they said. Just ask for them straight from home, and that goes for travellers' checks and even personal loans. From home? Now that is the way to do it. But how will people know which leaflet to pick up at the post office, they ask? Put the star of the commercial on it, I said.
National Gyrobank. It's simply more convenient.
When you've got a lot on, you don't want a bar of chocolate that's gone in one bite. You want a Yorkie. 7 big satisfying chunks that last. Almost indefinitely. Yorkie, built to last.
Jack certainly isn't a dull boy. He knows good value when he sees it, and he knows he'll be on to a winner when he takes home the big Andrex roll. Because as well as being soft, it's thick, wide, and incredibly long, which means it lasts and lasts. So, in the long run, he's likely to make a giant saving. Andrex, the legendary toilet tissue.
Heinz have a new range of foods for people who are watching their weight. It's not faddy, just straightforward, everyday food with a full measure of flavour. The only thing it lacks is a few calories. Which might help tip the scales in your favour. Weight Watchers from Heinz.
People keep telling me what a pleasant surprise they get when they carve my turkey roast. It's delicious lean turkey breast. Moist, tender, and juicy. And just look how many it will serve. Slice after slice after slice. Plenty for all the family. And there's no bone and no waste, just great value. A turkey dinner for up to 4 people for only £2.19. Matthew's Turkey Breast Roast. Beautiful.
Queensway's Autumn Spectacular is on now. 44-piece Anita cutlery sets free with dining room purchases over £499. Free coffee tables with selected 3-piece suites, plus guaranteed 21-day delivery. So get down to Queensway today before these giveaways become goneaways.
The Panasonic Dimension 4. It's a microwave. It's a traditional oven. It's a grill. It's a piece of cake.
Hello, there'll be no more nuclear power stations built in the southwest. That's today's message from Energy Secretary Peter Walker as he toured the nuclear plant at Winfrith in Dorset. We'll have a full report in today's southwest. And we'll be taking a close look at the top toys for Christmas. And we'll have a warning on the ones to avoid. That plus all today's latest news in today's Southwest. Join us, if you will, at 6.
The news at 5:45 with Alistair Stewart.
The freed hostage pleads for his Beirut friends in hell. Drinks party nurses thrown out by Saudi Arabia. More will follow. Screening a village for the child killer disease. And it's fair dinkum liquor for yachting down under. Good evening. The freed American hostage, Mr. David Jacobson, has begged his kidnappers in Lebanon to let his fellow captives go. And as he flew to freedom, he said the friends he left behind were in hell. But he declared he's feeling great, despite 17 months held by Muslim extremists, and the doctors agree. Mr. Jacobson praised the church envoy who freed him, Mr. Terry Waite, for giving us hope. but Mr. Waite is staying silent on whether more hostages can be freed.
It was just after dawn when Terry Waite finally brought David Jacobson out of Beirut by courtesy of 2 American Navy helicopters. They touched down in a remote corner of Larnaca Airport. The Archbishop's envoy was the first out, followed a few moments later by the former hostage, jogging across the tarmac as if to prove what fine shape he was in. It was a point he endorsed at a brief press conference a few minutes later.
Would anyone like to go out and challenge me to 6-mile jog around the airport this morning? It's really a great pleasure to see this guy here. Not because he has a beard like I have, but we almost had an opportunity to meet last Christmas. And even though Terry Waite's venture in Beirut did not bring us out, this man did one thing that we really appreciated. As we sat on the floor in our underwear on the day of Christmas Eve, he gave us hope. He gave us hope that we would be free men again, and we love this guy. My joy is somewhat diminished by the fact that other captives are still being held in Lebanon. My thoughts are of Terry Anderson and Tom Sutherland. My sadness that they're not here is deep. To the families of the other American hostages and to all the other hostages. I would like to just give you a message. Do not despair. Trust in the Lord, because there is goodness, and I've seen it, and they'll see it too. Keep faith. The guys will get out because of men like Terry Waite. Thank you.
The Swiss executive jet touched down at mid-morning. Jacobson smiling broadly as he and Terry Waite were welcomed by American officials. He was getting used now to what had, for 17 long months, been just a dream.
Many of you look to be about my same age, and you remember a beautiful ballad from the 30s. I think it was composed by Jerome Kern. The best things in life are free and buy nothing. There's a possibility that I shall go back. Okay. But we're being very careful about what we say for the moment because they're just very critical days.
Jacobson, like so many other American hostages before him, was taken to the American hospital for a checkup and debriefing. Doctors pronounced him fit but tired. He'll stay there tonight. Family reunions tomorrow.
At the Jacobson home in California, a message from the State Department on the telephone answering machine ended 17 months of anxiety. Mr. Jacobson's 92-year-old father was brought from a nursing home to join the celebrations. But amid the joy, there remained concern for the other Americans still held in the Lebanon.
There are still 5 Americans remaining hostage there, and we have no reason to celebrate and act as if this thing is completely over.
Administration officials are optimistic more hostages will be released. They insist they've made no concessions to the kidnappers, although America has been involved in direct negotiations.
Because we are still negotiating for the other hostages, we're not going to say anything more about what process we went through to get Mr. Jacobson out or what has happened in the meantime.
The president is still campaigning for tomorrow's congressional elections. Suggestions that he'll use David Jacobson's release to his advantage have been angrily denied.
Is the president going to play politics with this issue? No. You're in 1 inch of getting your head lopped off with a question like that.
But much of the credit will reflect on the president at a time when the Republicans need all the help they can get. Tim Ewart, ITN, Washington. And now the rest of the day's news. The Saudis are throwing out more British nurses for having a drink at a birthday party. 23 nurses flew home today, and 3 other British women are in jail for getting into a